You know, as a young boy, you always would see nice cars. You always would admire the older cats that had nice cars as far as rims. At least where I grew up, they would have, nice rims on their cars. Some would have the interior done. In Washington, D.C., where I grew up in Southeast D.C., we were known for our cars looking nice on the outside. I didn't really see too many people, customizing the interior of their car. It was more so the outside of the cars. But, as a young boy, you would see a nice car ride by. You would say, that's my car. And, you would be so excited. When I grow up, one day I'm going to be able to afford me a Mustang. Because I know back in the day when I was growing up, my dad and my uncles, they had Mustangs and Camaros. Didn't really see too many Dodges in my family. But you would see a lot of the, neighborhood dope boys. They would have, the Mustangs with the hammers on them, or the BBSs. For you super young guys that may be following my channel, you probably don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But for the older cats, y'all know what I'm talking about. My dad, he pretty much had all the nice cars, man. He had Mustangs, he had Vets. So I kind of came up liking cars and liking fast cars. So as I got older, as I became an adult, I say, once I'm in a good financial space, I'll get me a nice, car to drive. So I started out with, I had a Chevy Malibu. It was a V6. Well, that was pretty fast for me back then. I mean, I was in my early teens. So that was a decent car for me. But as I got more into muscle cars and fast cars, one day I saw a 2010 Dodge Charger on the highway. I was riding with my cousin. We were in his Lexus. We were going to North Carolina. I saw a 2010 Dodge Charger ride by me, and I fell in love with that car ever since, man. And I've been a Dodge guy ever since. Regardless of my dad, he was always been a Mustang, or he was a Mustang guy for the most part. And then he kind of transitioned into Chevys. Then he got into the Corvette. But man, when I saw that Dodge Charger, guys, you couldn't tell me nothing. I said, if I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna give me one of those cars. So I say all that to say this. I read the comments in other videos, like people that's outside of the, I would say, the Dodge Mopar family. I watch all kinds of videos, and what I've noticed is there's a lot of people who, they like using the Hellcat and the Dodge Chargers to get views on the internet.
The Dodge Charger is a machine that traps the poor and the ignorant in an endless cycle of debt. And it's a marketing masterpiece, isn't it? When you're uneducated, when you had a troubled upbringing, if you didn't grow up in the nicest of places, and if you're a lost male, the Dodge Charger will be very, very attractive to you.
But they really not Dodge or Mopar enthusiasts or Mopar people. Because if you listen to some of the statements they make in their videos about the type of people who own these cars, they always got something negative to say. But they don't mind using the cars to get views and to sustain their lifestyle. But the stereotype and the negative comments always seem to seep out. And a lot of people don't pay attention to it, but if you read their comments within their videos, I'm gonna pop some screenshots up here if I can. I can't put, I might can put some clips in, but now YouTube is being real strict on using other people's content, even if it's fair use. I'm gonna insert a comment in this video, and I want y'all to read this.
Former Dodge salesman can confirm exactly what he's saying. Most of the guys who bought the car had no business buying the car. They had 600 or lower credit scores, made $45K a year or less than 500 in savings, and more often than not, got repoed within 6 months. The stories I heard were always some form of, I just want something nice for myself. One of the reasons I got out of car sales was because I got tired of being part of the machine that trapped people in debt. It's not a 5-year car loan. It's a 15-year recovery process of poor financial decision making.
This is what I mean by when everybody seems to be getting so excited about Tim Kuniskis coming back to Dodge, like everything is just going to be so hunky-dory. And people say I'm hating and I'm this and that, but I'm just being realistic about what's actually happening within the Dodge community as far as the sale of these vehicles and how people view the customers that come in to buy these cars. That comment is actually from a former Dodge salesman. And I've made videos in the past talking about how they are the main downfall for Dodge, if you ask me, because if you have somebody like that working for you, how do you expect to get the best deal? How do you expect to have return customers when you got people who think like that? Now, what he's saying may be true. We have to do better as fathers and uncles to teach these young guys about credit, about, you know, making the right financial decisions. And even as an adult, I don't make all the perfect decisions, but I'm just sick and tired of seeing comments like this and hearing people talk so negative about people who buy these vehicles. And that's why I get so frustrated when people are like, oh, Tim, this is going to come in and everything is going to be great. Dodge dealerships in general have a long way to go, man. Long way to go. Because of that type of mentality that their salesmen even have. I know they don't care. They just trying to make a deal. But I think we have to do better, man. Because if you got a guy that's selling you a car that thinks like that, everything he says out of his mouth is pretty much a lie then. He's not working for your best interest. And yeah, you know, you don't care about what somebody thinks about what you're doing. No, but at the same time, I've never seen a Lexus car dealer or car salesman make statements like this. Man, it makes it seem like the people who buy Dodge vehicles, like, they're the only ones that come in with bad credit, don't make a whole lot of money, you know, at their jobs. They act like Dodge is the only brand that has those type of customers. And we all know that's not true. If you go to a repo lot, you see every brand of car being repoed. You know, but it's just frustrating that people lose sight of why people love cars. You know what I'm saying? And why people make decisions that might not be as smart. That might not be a smart decision at that time when it comes to cars. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, you grow up as a man, and women as well, liking cars. So when you get an opportunity to buy one, you might not make the best decision. So guys, I don't know, man. I'm a Mopar guy right now because I own one. Like I said, I've always liked them, man. But it's just that type of mentality from the salesman is the reason why I really don't like dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just buy a car off Carvana or buy a car not having to deal with the dealership. That's why I always go through the credit union. So all I have to do is pretty much show up and pick up my car. I don't want to talk to no salesman. I don't even want them to know my financial business. Here's the check, give me my car, get out my face. You feel what I'm saying? That's pretty much how I want to carry it. Now, I've been lucky enough to come across a couple dealerships that have been real cool. But man, most of the time, I don't even want to deal with those folks, man, because of the stereotype. So I said all that to say this. Stellantis has a long way to go, guys. They need to fix that type of mentality, that type of thinking when it comes to these cars. You can't advertise a car doing burnouts and donuts and, you know, the exhaust, you hear the exhaust roaring, all that stuff, but don't expect young people to be attracted to that. But then on the back end, you want to talk trash about them, talk about how they shouldn't be buying a car, low credit scores, all these different things, instead of trying to educate people and be more encouraging and want people to come back and buy your cars. If you're putting that type of energy out, how do you expect people to want to come back to your brand and purchase vehicles from you? Because I know it deters me. I do not want to talk to anybody at a Dodge dealership. I really don't. I really don't. If they ever happen to come out with something else that I like, I don't want to deal with the dealership at all. Just let me just bring you my check. Like with my credit union, I don't even have to bring a check. They wire the money to them. So I have zero dealings with the dealership. All I got to do is go in there and sign my papers so I can make sure they get my tags and all that stuff. I don't want to talk to you about no warranties. I don't want to talk about you. I don't want to talk to you about nothing. Just give me my keys, let me go. And it's unfortunate because when I went to buy, when my wife and I went to buy her BMW, the experience was excellent. Even just dealing with the salesman at the dealership, no problems. Everything was cool. No stereotyping, no rushing me, no acting funny about test driving the cars. None of that nonsense. Even my dad, he got his Lexus, smooth process. And, it's that type of customer service which is running people away from the Dodge brand, period. So if there's any current or former Dodge salesman happen to be watching this video, you guys got to do better, man. You can't keep stereotyping and talking trash about your customers because y'all on the back end right now. People don't really care about that Stellantis. You got some people who still living in a fantasy world and dreaming that one day they're going to buy a Hellcat for $40,000 because Tim Knister's was by. You got the idiots that's feeding into that nonsense. Any real true Mopar guy, for the most part, people done lost faith in the brand, on all aspects across the board. The service department, the sales department, just ownership, everything. It's just all negative, and they brought it upon themselves. Just look at this former salesman. Look what he's saying. And like I say, it may be true, but that's not every single person. So I don't know, guys. Leave your comments. It's just something I had on my chest. I want to talk to you guys. You know how I am. Like I said, a lot of times I make videos just like if you were sitting here and we talking about cars. So yeah, leave your comments, guys. Let me know what y'all think, man. It's gonna take a whole lot for me to buy another Dodge. I just don't. First of all, I don't see anything that I would want. I don't want the EV. The trucks are overpriced. I don't want no neon. I don't want any of those type of cars. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. I'm not delusional. I understand that there's times when banks will approve people who shouldn't be approved for certain cars. I understand that happens. But I'm just trying to understand how you equate somebody that makes $45,000 to being able to purchase a $100,000 car. That doesn't even happen. You can't even, the banks won't even approve something like that. Now, occasionally, yes, it may happen because people call in favors. I understand the car business a little bit. But to say every person you see riding around in a Hellcat has a 400 credit score is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And that's all you constantly hear. But see, a lot of people don't have their own mind. A lot of people just follow what they hear other people say or repeat what they hear other people say. You know what I'm saying? So leave your comments. Let me know what y'all think. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.